Hi, everyone. Can you all hear me? Yes. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Faisal, founder and managing partner at Pi Labs. On behalf of the Pi Labs team, just want to welcome all of you that are physically here today. And we have a couple of hundred people signed up virtually from around the world. And just to take some stock as to who's in the audience today, I see a lot of familiar faces. So there are some of our portfolio companies are here. A lot of our mentors and advisors, our venture partners who support the portfolio companies, LPs who have ultimately backed us, our co-investors that are have invested with us in deals, as well as our general ecosystem that supports Pi Labs and our portfolio companies, and the same makeup virtually from around the world today. I wanted to really just reflect back at what the purpose of this program is. We've been running this program now for around 10 years. In fact, we'll be celebrating our 10-year anniversary at Pi Labs this summer. This is our 12th cohort. And this program exists not to back technologies of today or technologies of yesterday. It really is set up to back next generation technologies, the technologies of tomorrow. And the reason why we're so excited at Pi Labs about that is because we're convinced that the challenges that the built world faces can't be unlocked and can't be solved by today's technologies. So this program is set up to back cutting edge next generation startups. And just to give you kind of examples, the definition of next generation and frontier technology has evolved, and it's been changing over the years. When we launched the program back in 2015, big data, data analytics was a hot topic. And at that time, we backed a startup called Landtech. The founder, Johnny, might be here today. They were embryonic, really a seedling of a business, but they grew over the last 10 years and emerged as the platform that real estate developers use to source and diligence land opportunities. A couple of years later, we backed a Tel Aviv-based business called Okibo that built a robot that can paint and plaster walls on construction sites at parity with humans, really addressing a lot of the labor shortage issues that exist within construction. A few years after that, we backed a company out of Oslo that's using AI to help real estate owners with space planning. And the frontier today is different, right? It changes every year. The topics that we were very curious about this year were how can AI help solve the many sustainability challenges that the real estate industry faces off the back of a research paper that we had published earlier this year. So a couple of companies today will be addressing that challenge. But we looked further and beyond and also looked at how tech can play a role in making cities more resilient and safer. So when you see the founders pitch today, I'd really encourage you to use your imagination and not just look at what they look like today or what they might look like a year from now, but imagine what the impact they could have 5 years down the line or 10 years down the line, because VC ultimately is a long-term game and it takes time to build big sustainable businesses that can have impact at global scale. So I'd like to just, on that note, pass over to my colleague Boyan, who will introduce the teams and get demo day started. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Boyan, and I'm leading the 12-week Pi Labs program that supports our latest founders through a series of relevant workshops and introductions to mentors, customers, and investors. The Pi Labs program is at the very core of what we do at Pi Labs, and it's backing some of the most ambitious and innovative founders that we come across. That's why we're super excited to be presenting them to you today. The run of the show will be very straightforward. We have 5 pitches starting now, 5 minutes each, and at the end of those, we'll close out the virtual session and start networking. For everyone that's joining us virtually, nothing to worry about. We'll be making introductions to all of the teams and providing descriptions at the end of this. You might have also noticed there's a QR code on the back of your badges. Scanning this will take you to our digital brochure. You'll find company information and the profiles of each founder, and you can connect to them while you're listening to the pitches. For everyone that's joining us virtually, you can see that link in the comment section on Zoom. So without any further ado, the first company of today is tackling one of the biggest challenges that we have to our net zero goals, which is retrofitting at scale quickly. This is a problem that we've explored at great lengths here at Pi Labs, and that's exactly why we're very excited to be supporting this team. They've already captured some significant commercial interest and have scanned 1,900 residential homes. It's my pleasure to present to you Krix.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lucy Lyons, and I am the CEO and co-founder of Krix. We are building the Google Maps of heat loss to scale energy retrofits of existing buildings. Was your house cold this winter, and were your energy bills skyrocketing? If the answer is yes, you are not alone. Globally, 10% of CO2 emissions come from heating and cooling the buildings that we all live, work, and play in. With 87% of buildings in the global north that will exist in 2050 already standing, the world needs to retrofit its buildings for energy efficiency at speed and at scale. Now, the problem is today we are simply not retrofitting fast enough. To reach net zero by 2050, we must retrofit 1.8 homes every single minute in the UK alone. We're doing less than 25% of that. So this begs the question, why are we moving so slowly with retrofit when so much of the technology that we need to make buildings more energy efficient, like good old insulation, already exists and is ready to be deployed at scale? Part of the problem has to do with data. That's right. Today, no reliable system exists to universally measure how heat leaks from buildings. This leads to significant bottlenecks in retrofit delivery. So take it from our first customer, a UK top 5 social housing provider. For them, the energy efficiency data that's out there, so the EPC system, is simply not reliable enough to plan or validate retrofits at portfolio scale. Instead, they're needing to go house to house with clipboards doing manual surveys, which is super slow and costs tons. So this begs the question, what if we could know exactly how buildings are leaking heat and what to do about it instantly without going inside each structure? We are building Krix to crack this challenge. What is Krix? Krix maps how heat leaks from buildings. Images. We reduce the retrofit surveying and analysis time required per home from 2 to 3 hours of manual work to less than 1 minute. And this is truly what differentiates Krix in the market. We are the first company to develop AI not only to spot where heat loss is happening, but to actually quantitatively measure heat loss, which means that we can scan a whole city and stack rank every building in that city from most leaky to least leaky. And our customers love it. To date, Krix is working with more than 10 social housing providers as customers and R&D partners, and we've surveyed over 1,900 individual homes. But social housing is just the beginning. The ambition here by 2027 is to have mapped more than 1 million buildings and for our data to be used by customers ranging from utilities to mortgage providers to installers to other retrofit startups and beyond. We believe we have an awesome team to scale this. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Krix. My background is in early stage climate startups, including in carbon accounting. My co-founder, Matt Goodridge, is a high-tech product leader right here, coming from 20 years of high-tech product leadership experience, 10 of which were at Google. He also is a certified drone pilot, has an advanced degree in computer vision, and grew up with his parents renovating homes around him. We have an amazing full-time team here in the office in London as well, mostly of engineers, and great advisors from retrofit policymaking through the property sector. I will leave you with this. Today, Kestrix is helping social housing providers plan, price, and validate retrofit. But the vision here is to become the Google Maps of heat loss, the data layer powering the built environment's climate transition. So if this sounds interesting to you, get in touch about how you can pilot with Kestrix. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that, Lucy. We're very excited to be supporting you along your journey on retrofitting the world. Our next founders are building a generative AI solution for building engineers, saving up to 80% of an engineer's time while providing layout options that are beyond human capabilities. Within just 3 months, they've engaged with 4 consultancies in North America, generated over 50 designs, and are already working with developers on retrofitting existing building stock. To tell you more about it, I want to introduce Xiao Zhao, CEO and co-founder of Genia.
Thank you, Boyan. I'm pleased to be presenting to you Genia today. At Genia, we're building the operating system for engineers in construction industry. Engineers today are really underserved. Their workflow typically begins with general layouts, which heavily depend on their own heuristics and experience. And then they need to perform hundreds to thousands calculations and iterations, all done quite manually. And then after they arrive at a detailed design, they submit the design to a senior engineer who will review the design, and eventually to a drafter who will model the design in CAD or BIM format. Not only is this process very manual, repetitive, lengthy, it's quite prone to error. The typical design can take months or weeks or even months to complete. And despite the industry has been spending more than $25 billion on these design software, only 35% of these processes has been digitized, let alone being intelligent. The remaining 65% of the processes are done on pen and paper and sometimes Excel spreadsheets. As a result, about 40% permit applications submitted to the government are rejected because of simple human errors, which can lead to months of project delay and tens of thousands of dollars wasted on interest expense for each project. At Genia, we think engineering should have been done very differently. What if we can generate engineering drawings not in weeks or months, but in almost instantly? Then the human engineer can review the design, make edits as needed, and have a permit-ready drawing not in weeks or months, but in hours. Let's take structural engineering as an example. So that's why we built Genia's structural copilot. Let's work on a project together using our software, shall we? Where we're going to create a structure for a 2-floor single-family house based in Vancouver, Canada. We're going to upload the architectural drawings through our system in a minute, and then we're going to create the structures together. So here's our product interface. I'm setting up the project and uploading the architectural drawings. After I hit create in a few seconds, the design will be generated. The first tabs are the architecture that I just uploaded. The next set of tabs are the Gen AI outputs, which are the layouts of structural elements like beams, trusses, joists, and shear walls. The next set of tabs are these formal construction documents that a structural engineer will produce. And lastly, we provide a set of calculation sheet that will essentially recommend the best material that will fulfill the force requirements. Here, we're not only providing the best material, we're also providing the set of force calculations so that engineers can take a look at this, review the design, and make sure it's physically valid. By using our product, our clients are able to generate drawings 10 times faster, avoid 40% human design errors and over designs, and eventually win more projects at a higher bids. Our product is able to not only support new builds from ground up, but also do retrofits. We are happy to announce that we recently partnered with Suffolk Construction, which is a top general contractor in the US, to convert existing warehouses into residentials and offices. By using our software, we're able to assess the physical validity of existing structures against a new set of requirements and suggest improvement plans. Our structural copilot is available today under a freemium model. We offer a free evaluative plan, including 3 designs and basic functionalities. And in order to upgrade, you can also enjoy the full functionalities of 20 design at $4,000 per month. Genia is built by engineers for engineers. We are the only one in the market that's capable of generating physically valid detailed design that's capable of automating the entire workflow of a structural engineer, thanks to our unique Gen AI engine and physics simulation engine. Our unique approach requires an interdisciplinary team. I myself come from the background of launching new products into new markets. On the team, we have an experienced structural engineer who used to work at Arup and design residential and commercial structures all over the world. We have a longtime Gen AI top researcher with a PhD from Duke. And lastly, we have a longtime CTO who has been leading and building full stack tech teams at various startups. Structural design is only the starting point for us. The immediate next step is to cover mechanical, electrical, and plumbing. And ultimately, we envision Genia to become the operating system for construction. Here, we're not only connecting the project demands with the optimal supply chain, but also we are supporting on-site and, more importantly, prefab constructions so that we can drive construction to be more faster, cheaper, and more sustainable. Genia is currently raising 1.5 million as a pre-seed. So far, 1 million has been committed from PyLab's dorm room funds and a few venture scouts and angels. We're expecting to close this round within the next 4 weeks. Our structural copilot is available on our website, genia.design today. And we're happy to speak with potential investors and customers in the upcoming networking. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Jihao. We can't wait to see what's next in store for Genia. Our next company is predicting ransomware attacks against the supply chain using deep and dark web intelligence. The team has already managed to engage with 22 customers, including the likes of Kojima, Burns & McDonnell, and Mighty. To tell you more about what a secure supply chain can really look like, I want to invite Vincent Cook, CEO of Cyber Operations.
Amazing. Thank you very much. It's lovely to meet you all, and very glad to be here. So my name is Vincent Cook. I'm founder and CEO of Cyber Operations, a deep and dark web intelligence company focused on predicting ransomware attacks against supply chain. Now, I want to start by telling you just a very short anecdote. When I was in school, which, as you can probably tell, was not that long ago, I was working with organizations in and around London, protecting them from ransomware attacks and threat actors. Now, when I told the school about these extracurricular activities, they were immediately mistaken to be illegal, and they sent me to isolation. And I was actually made to write some lines, and the lines went, "I do not, nor will ever use the dark web." And it's funny how that has aged. I made the conscious decision to leave education and pursue my passion in cybersecurity. To date, I've worked with over 100 global intelligence agencies across 6 of the 7 continents, including Ministry of Defense, Department of Defense, UK Counterterrorism, and UK Met Police. This is exactly why I've chosen to solve the cybersecurity challenge across the supply chain. Now, organizations can protect themselves within their network. They can protect their applications, they can protect their servers and their devices. But what they're struggling to do right now, and what they're responsible to do, is protect the third parties that interact with their environment. Now, take an organization in the UK construction business back in 2019 was commissioned by MI6 to build one of their facilities. They lost the documentations and they were decommissioned from the project. Spoiler alert, they ended up in the dark web. Now, organizations don't have, 1, the visibility of their entire supply chain, but 2, the ability to predict and understand if it's at risk. Now, how they're currently trying to get around this problem is outdated methods, including threat intelligence and third-party risk management tools, all of which are manual, slow, complete lack of data visibility, no actionable intelligence, and no attack prediction. We want to make it as easy as possible for organizations to do the right thing. And at Cyber Operations, we have 3 key stages within our proprietary technology. The first is we identify every single third party within our customer's environment through an attack surface discovery scan. We then take this data to a dark and deep web intelligence module of over 172 billion attributes, which ultimately gives us the ability to predict and create a predictive intelligence module, which we can then put in an automatic rules engine. This is a truly proactive model as opposed to an outdated one-off risk assessment. And this is a continuous process. One of the top questions I get is, how do we identify the third parties within the environment? We're able to do this, and this is able to happen with no integration into any existing ERP, HR, procurement, or any other systems, including third-party risk management solutions. We do not need any integration at all. Now, our customers choose us because we have 30 times the supply visibility. We're able to predict these ransomware attacks up to a 76% accuracy rate and decrease onboarding speed by up to 70 times. If we take one of our customers in the UK, another large construction firm, they moved from ZeroFox to Cyber Operations, and we took their onboarding time from 10 weeks to 1 hour. In that same period of time, ZeroFox identified 15 alerts, compromised credentials. Cyber Operations identified 480. Now, today, what does this mean for Cyber Operations? Our customers are signing 3-year engagements with us, paying annually upfront. This is enabling us to reinvest into Cyber Operations to make the tech quicker and much better. This equates to 1.2 million in total contract value booked, and we're on track to 4x our average contract value in the next 6 months. I'm super humbled to be surrounded by such an incredible team, including the likes of Buck Rogers, and no, not from the series. Buck is the former CISO at Bank of England, HSBC, BAE Systems, and X Security Services. We also have Mitchell and Jonathan, with experience from Oracle, ARM, SAP, and BlackBerry, as well as Natalie and John, with experience in policing and security. Now, we're raising £1 million with 500,000 committed with our lead investor, Pi Labs. Over the next 12 months, we're looking to expand our engineering team, launch Platform 2, and expand into the US. Now, if you're interested in joining us on this journey as an investor or want to secure your supply chain, then please come and talk to me afterwards. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vincent. It's amazing, really, to see what you've been able to achieve so far. Our next company is changing a very archaic industry, security and surveillance. By combining their proprietary software, third-party autonomous drones, and existing CCTV cameras, they're providing a greater level of protection for asset owners. I want to introduce to you co-founder, CEO of Sur Technologies, Camille Doy, to tell you more about the next level of physical security.
Sur Technologies is on a mission to help industrial companies protect what's most important to them, their assets. We define assets as people, property, and profits. Across the board, industrial and logistics companies are spending millions every year on asset protection services, such as CCTV cameras, insurance premiums, and even physical security staff. But even with all this expenditure, companies are still experiencing break-ins, thefts, and vandalisms. CCTV blind spots are often exploited by criminals, and security staff that are performing their monitoring or guarding tasks on the ground are often inconsistent with that performance, and that's just being human. As a site manager, it's often difficult to monitor staff safety conditions across these large, complex sites. Factors like these are reasons why logistics companies are experiencing losses from theft. And Logistics UK last year actually summarized the report stating that truck cargo thefts is costing the industry almost £500 million a year. Companies understand that if they experience this issue, they will be closely put on the verge of losing customer trust. So the Sur team has come together and we have formed a solution. And that solution is the SurNet, Sur's autonomous surveillance software system. It connects with your existing infrastructure, such as your cameras, as well as your sensors, so that you can use our platform as a security management or even surveillance management system. We then add additional key features on top, additional layers of automation, such as the AI Lookout Engine, which is computer vision algorithms integrated into your CCTV cameras so that you can detect threats and monitor site conditions. We then have the AV Engine, which is the function that enables you to integrate any autonomous vehicle or autonomous drone into your platform so that you can automate patrols and respond to detected threats. Lastly, we have the AI Foresight Engine, and this is algorithms that actually learn your site-wide activity and incidents and proactively suggest to you new security setups or new patrol flight paths that you should deploy based on incidents that have occurred in the past. Overall, the SurNet is built to enhance on-site security operations, increase surveillance coverage, and detect security threats at the earliest stages. This is the focus, and this is the vision for the SurNet solution. Our target customers are companies that have assets such as warehouses, factories, ports, and harbors. But we found over time that they often outsource their security and surveillance functions to private firms. We've seen this as a great opportunity because in the next couple of years, we can partner with these security companies and get access to a plethora of industrial companies that need better help securing their assets. We found that by working with security companies, we can provide them better service offerings as well as some cost reductions. These cost reductions are 35% in their security contract costs by displacing 1, 2, or 3 staff throughout the day. And we can also help them detect health and safety risks and security threats 5 times faster than their current methods. We're targeting a huge market, and this is the global security market, worth £98 billion. By targeting companies that have industrial sites larger than 150,000 square foot in Europe, we can see a £5 billion annual recurring revenue generating opportunity. We have some competitors in this market, but the way we differentiate is that our software platform allows you to use old and existing security and surveillance infrastructure, as well as the new and upgraded ones. We then embed AI technology within our platform so that each surveillance piece works together in a unified and automated manner. We've tested the market and we have some great traction to prove for it. We have 5 reselling partnerships with security firms, a POC currently ongoing with DP World, as well as 2 other paid pilots worth £75,000. And I'd like you to meet the Sur team that's behind all of this. The team with the knowledge, capabilities, and experience to deliver turnkey solutions. First, I'd like to start with Raza. Raza is our COO, and he's had 25 years of experience running his own food distribution in the UK, and he's had first-hand experience dealing with this problem. Just imagine having 70 trucks, a whole fleet of trucks that you need to deliver goods from, and overnight, all of their catalytic converters get stolen. That's what happened to Raza and his team. And unfortunately, he lost out on weeks, if not a couple of months of operations. We then have myself, Kumi, the CEO. My background is in robotic engineering, but I moved on, started other tech startups, and worked in corporates, where I was primarily dealing with sales and business development tasks. Then lastly, we have Ade, our CTO, who's our qualified aerospace and robotics engineer, and he's the mastermind behind all of our technology development. So the Sur team is going to go forward. And we're raising £1 million in order to reach our next sets of milestones. These milestones are to complete our pilots and secure at least 10 annual recurring revenue contracts, patent and certify our proprietary software, and launch and scale our SurNet solution. If you feel that this company, Sur Technologies, is a fit for your investment portfolio, or you would actually like to trial our solution across one of your distribution centers or warehouses, please come and speak to myself or the team. Will be at one of the booths after this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kumi, and a reminder to everyone to find the teams during the networking session later. And we're down to our final team. This is a company that's founded by 2 Harvard graduates who are tackling one of the most pressing environmental challenges for material manufacturers, and that is the creation of environmental product declarations, or EPDs. These can take months to produce and cost tens of thousands. The company is automating this whole process using AI, and to tell you more about how they're changing the industry for the better, I want to introduce Liza Sanderman, co-founder of Pathways.
That's us. Thank you so much. I'm Liza Sanderman, co-founder of Pathways, and we're building out the data layer for sustainable manufacturing. So I think of buildings like Lego, right? If you want to decarbonize new constructions or retrofit, it has to start at the material level. Look at the chair you're sitting at, paint on the wall, the windows overlooking the beautiful view. All of those are made by material manufacturers. They are our customers. Why is that the case? Because manufacturing of materials, particularly in the built environment, is responsible for 20% of global emissions. As we're decarbonizing the grid, this share is only becoming bigger. If we expand into biodiversity considerations, I mean, these numbers blow out. On top of that, we're building a lot. Right? The next 30 years is going to be the biggest urban expansion in human history. In the US, where we've started our business, they love this fact. It's equivalent of building a new New York City every single month. But try to look over the skyline and imagine how many buildings that is, how many materials every single month. We're not the only ones who've noticed this. There's been a huge increase in regulation. One of our customers talked about this as a tsunami of requirements hitting the product and material manufacturers. We're talking about steel sheet suppliers who've never before been asked about anything on climate. So what are they being asked about now? They're being asked to create what's called an environmental product declaration. I think of them as the environmental nutrition facts. But instead of calories and carbohydrates, we're looking at chemicals and carbon. I just told you about the steel sheet. There's very few things as motivated as a steel sheet salesman when he loses a sale because he didn't have a document he didn't even know about. But one thing that makes him more motivated is when he figures out how difficult it is to do this today. And that's because for every single product, you have to, one, understand all the input components of that product. So if you think of the chair you're sitting on, even down to the gram of the chemical and the varnish going on top of the paint. 2, how is it transported to your site? Right? Fuel and mode. And 3, what's your manufacturing process? Your water, your waste, your fuel, your energy. What's your energy grid mix? Most sites won't even know that. So you're probably realizing more than anything, this is data. Today, it's all done manually. Just talking with a customer yesterday who's been charged $30,000 to create this one document for one product line. They have 1,200 products. So what are we doing? Well, we've built out a software that sits on top of the manufacturer's data stack. Or like one of my customers said, a lack of data stack, right? We're talking ingesting unstructured documents like fuel invoices, pulling under the assumption that the ERP, which is kind of where they keep all their invoices and procurement information, is unstructured. And we're able to filter that in and generate these life cycle assessments. But we're giving more than just the output documents to our customer. They are able to see the life cycle assessment live. And I realize this is a slightly small picture, but what you're seeing here is what they call, that's just my process chart. But that is just what a life cycle assessment is, which is the process of how you produce your product. And because our data integration is live into that data stack, we can then tell them which part of their production is actually responsible for the mission, moving from pure documentation into decarbonization information. The best part is it's working. Back in December, we signed our first pilots, one of them with a $3 billion hard-pressed wood manufacturer, think making like 1 million utility poles a year across 50 sites in the US and Canada. We've just converted that into the first expansion, 50K, we're only grabbing 5% of their business. So we're now deploying at scale. And I'm obviously not doing it alone. So I have a background in manufacturing and sustainability consultant. My incredible co-founder, who couldn't be here today because he's in Canada visiting a customer, is an absolute customer and product nerd. He loves bringing in big data to those customers. And we're backed by a phenomenal team. Not just the people who sit and make this possible, but also a brilliant set of investors. Together with Pi Labs, back in December, we closed a round of 2.5 million pre-seed with Sakura and an unbelievable group of, what I think is the best group possible, build environment nerds and real climate enthusiasts. So what am I here to ask you about today? Well, over on the right-hand side, you'll see a little clipboard of Madonna, right? To remind us all that we're living in a material world. But if you are speaking with any material manufacturer who's struggling to create this, come and chat with me. I'd love to connect with them and stay in contact as we are building a lower carbon material world.
Thank you, Liza. We're very happy to be joining you for the journey and seeing firsthand how you change the industry. For everyone that's joining us virtually, as mentioned earlier, we'll be providing some materials on the companies and intros to the founders so you can connect with them and engage. This marks the end of the Pi Labs program. But for our 5 teams that you saw today, this is just the beginning of their journey with Pi Labs.